number one skill that's behind ideas and products that become a megastar product. I'd like to invite you to an exciting day, a one-day master workshop that's exactly about this. And this is for startup leaders, it's for entrepreneurs, it's for corporate innovators, among others. And the reason is because that I think, well, I've worked with all of you. Well, maybe not you, but I mean, I worked with you, and for years. And the thing is that we tend to get really, really sort of focused in on the designs that we're making and inviting customers in on the whole of the process, making MVPs and prototypes and all sorts of stuff. And it's really awesome. And when we think a lot about how can we actually make our product um, be what our customers that they prefer and our prospects and so on. And this is a tough job. It's really, really hard to do. It's really hard. And in the midst of that, what tends to happen is we forget, or perhaps even don't even know, that there is a sequence that our prospects and customers, our stakeholders, they go through as we're presenting a new and innovative idea, such that they end up getting it, that they sort of look at it and they go, wow, that stands out. That's amazing. That's winning. I've never seen that before. And so what I want to do in this one-day master workshop is show you what that sequence is. So it's a neurology piece, if you will. It is how we actually understand when something is new, because maybe I shouldn't put it like this, but I'm going to anyway. It's our fault. It's your fault that when we are, that when we are making these amazing new products and innovative and whatnot, it's our fault that our customers don't get what it is that we're doing, because we're inhibiting them from doing so. There is no way that they can know what something new is that they haven't seen before. How could they? They haven't seen it. So that is the step. It's a missing step that we tend to not focus on. We haven't been brought up to do so. We haven't learned it in school. There's no real books about it or anything like that. And so this is a unique opportunity for you to sort of get to that. And I'll even tell you right now what that is. And it's called character. And it's a way for us, the way that we human beings tend to understand what anything in this world really is. If it's your computer, telephone, the clothes that you wear, the table that you're at, or anything new or innovative, that there is a character to it, with it, characteristics. And what happens is that in our minds and our body, we get emotions, of course. There is this, and it happens within a flash of a second. There is this mental animation that runs in our minds that tells us what something is. And we don't notice for this in our everyday life. We just wander around. There's a cup of coffee. There's a croissant. We enjoy ourselves. And so we don't notice for these things when we're looking at something new. Ooh, there's something new. I don't know what that is. And we go away from it. I think this is actually part of our gene pool, because if we go back to the Stone Age, and there was a saber-toothed tiger, and there was this thing in the bush, and what was that? And there were those who ran away up to the nearest tree, and there were those who stayed there, here, kitty, kitty. And so they're not part of the gene pool anymore. So I think it's ingrained within us that when we see something new, we automatically go, what is that? And we run away. And so it's a survival thing. And so that's really cool. And if you're, I think you might even recognize this, that when you're launching your product, you're like, oh my God, that's not just crickets out there. They're like, they ran away. And I think it's not that they ran away from what you're showing. So don't take it that personal. But anyway, during this one day master workshop, I want to show you what that sequence is, such that they will love your product instead. I even made a 150-page ebook about that process, and you get it as part of the deal. And within the first 60 pages, I'm going to, or you're taken through that process. You get to feel it for yourself, what it looks like. And so when I've shown you what that sequence is, now you get to do it with your stakeholders and your customers. And that's really cool. And so there's this mindset behind it, and there's a way to make it operational and something that you should be thinking about. So it's not something that's going to change your strategy or make you do anything different than what you are. It's just a missing piece of the puzzle that I'm going to hand you. And you can use it for your inspiration or directly implement it. And I'm going to be doing that. So I'm going to be front loading this one day master workshop with a ton of material. Though I said, did I say a ton of material? Just some material. You're not going to get overwhelmed. I assure you, I promise you. There's going to be some videos, some podcasts. It's going to be fun, and some exercises and examples and things. And I'm going to give you one thing to do each week for 4 weeks before we meet up. You can do one thing, and that way you're prepared. And so then I have a time slot about for those of you who want it, where you're in the spotlight, just where we get to talk about your idea or your product, such that I can show you how that you should use this sequence on your idea product so you can use it professionally, and how that ties in with your business model if you have one, and preferably, and that's really important now, that they actually work in unison. You don't want your product and your business model to be apart, as we did very much in the last century. So there's also a lot of new knowledge I'm going to be coming with during this front load, which has to do with how innovation has changed. So from now on, and this really started back in 2008, but things have been maturing. From now on, you will want to know what ecosystems are, and co-innovation, not just co-creation. You want to go beyond that. You want to know a little bit about impact, because in my mind, and the way I've looked at it, and I've been working with startups and in innovation in corporate businesses for about 17 years or so, there is always that impact element into your product. It doesn't have to be gigantic, right? And Mega gets to sound really gigantic, doesn't it? But it really just means that when things become a star, it's not just that it meets a need or fulfills some kind of desire, but it changes people's worlds. And so what I'd like to do right now is stop here. Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to be putting up some links here during the weekend where you can sign up. And I'm only going to be taking so many in, because I'm personally going to be overseeing a lot of what people are doing. And there's only just so many seats for that. So I'm going to be taking people in as they sign up. And I think that just below there's a link to the blueprint. It's already been seen, I don't know, some 4,000 times during this past couple of weeks, and downloaded billions of times. But I want you to also have a look at it. And so we can stop here. You can go away now. Thank you for watching this. Very nice to meet you. Or you can hang out a little bit more. Got a couple more minutes. And I can show you what this Megastar product thing is, what the sequence is.